My dog is literally just staring at me right now. Full on staring. What? You be quiet, all right? I gotta do this thing that I do. Don't wink at me, bro. Stop. Hi, how are you? Hope you're all doing well. All that stuff, my dudes. If you've been here since the beginning, if you followed my channel since the first video, you know that the majority of the first videos on my channel were shot with a phone. And I've talked about it a million times, so I don't really need to say that again. Specifically, they were shot on this phone right here, Samsung Galaxy Note 8. I shot all my videos on this phone, and I thought it would be fun today in this video to talk about some of the things, some of the add-ons, some of the additional accessories I added onto this phone to make it look and sound better, make my videos that were coming out of it look and sound better. If you go back and watch those videos from the beginning of my channel and then watch this video, or watch this video and then go back and watch those probably look like trash, because this and something like the M50 are such a crazy difference. But they also probably look like trash because I didn't know what I was doing and I still was new, so whatever. For anyone who's out there who's got a phone in your pocket, maybe wants to start making some videos, just a couple small things you can add on to your phone to make your videos better. Don't get me wrong, if you have a decent phone in your pocket, like within the last 5 or 6 generations of phone, they probably got a pretty good camera on them regardless, and you can shoot video straight with your camera. Like if you wanted to start a YouTube channel and you're new to filmmaking and you don't really, need much gear, you could totally just take your phone out and start shooting. That is a totally perfectly fine option. If this is what you got, you can totally start making videos with just this. So the first thing that I would suggest putting on your phone, adding to your phone to make it look a little better, if your phone does not have a wide angle lens. Now, the new iPhones, my new Note 10, they all have wide angle lenses. The newer phones within the last 2 years, the majority of them have wide angle lenses. But if you have something like the Note 8, if it doesn't have a wide angle lens, I would highly recommend adding an external wide angle lens to your phone. The one that I used is the Moment 18mm wide angle lens. This thing is amazing. It's $100, but it's totally worth it. And out of all the things that I'm gonna show you today, this is where you're gonna spend the most money. Your phone, if it doesn't have a wide angle lens, you're gonna be too close in on your face, and you want that wide angle, and you want your videos to feel more immersive, and you're really gonna want a wide angle lens. So I would highly recommend the Moment one. They make great stuff. They make a ton of different lenses. You need to buy a Moment case. This is the one for the Note 8, obviously, but if you have a smartphone, they probably have a case for your phone. Just putting that out there. They make cases for every phone ever. So if you got a phone, they got a case. So, you find that's backwards. You find the case for your phone, put it on your phone. It's a nice case too, nice quality. And then the lenses, regardless of which one you get, but in this case, the wide angle snaps right into there. It's a little twist action. You put it in and then you turn it. And then you got a wide angle lens, and this is gonna give you a wider field of view and just more immersive videos, and it's gonna make it look just a tiny little bit better if you don't have a wide angle lens on your phone. Now, like before when I said you could just shoot with your phone, this right here, this one little add-on, you could go right from here. You got a wide angle, everything's fine, just a little bump up from just shooting with your phone. But the next thing that I would suggest to add on to this little package is some sort of stabilization, meaning a handheld tripod, something to hold on to your phone, stabilize it a little bit rather than just holding it with your hand and possibly getting some shaky footage. Now, there's tons of companies that make handheld tripods. The one I used is this little Joby GorillaPod 125. I don't even remember what it's called, but it's just a GorillaPod, but it's tiny. And the thing about this is, if you own a GorillaPod, or anyone out there that does own a GorillaPod, this is not much different than this, the big one that we all use for our cameras. This is not much different. It still has its weaknesses. It falls apart. It loses its friction. It tips your phone over. It's not the best. I'm not saying you have to get this one. I'm just saying you should get some sort of handheld tripod to attach to your phone to get a little bit more stabilization and to just hold it out a little farther away from your face. And make it a little more comfortable to hold in your hand rather than just doing that all the time. To connect said tripod to your phone, you're gonna need a phone clamp. Once again, there's tons of companies that make different phone clamps. Joby makes them, Manfrotto makes them, but the one that I used is called a Glyph. I honestly don't even know who makes this. My girlfriend bought me this friction arm thing a couple years ago for my phone to take pictures of my Lego stuff before I had a camera. And this is the clamp that was on it, and I just took it off because it uses a standard tripod mount. That's all I really gotta say, but a phone clamp. You need a phone clamp. Not this one, just a phone clamp. This one I kinda liked though, because it had the tripod holes on each side and then on the bottom here, so you could do a little vertical action there if you wanted to, but this one's pretty simple. You just unclip this, and it's got a little bit of a spring thing going on. You put your phone in there, and then you attach your said tripod, whatever one it may be, and then you got a little setup. You got a little vlogging rig. You got a little handheld tripod, little wide angle action, little phone clamp. You're good to go. And that's great, because the little handheld tripod will add just a touch of stabilization to your footage rather than just holding the phone with your hand. But this is a perfectly good option. This is a great little setup, and you could definitely 100% start a YouTube channel with just this right here. The one last thing that I will say to add on physically to your phone is a microphone. Now, the microphone that I used to use with this setup is on my camera right now. It's the Rode Video Micro, so I just can't take it off my camera and put it on here right now, but it's a great microphone. It's a great microphone at a great value. It's like 60 bucks, great audio. It's easy to attach. It works fine. There's no batteries, anything like that. Now, my phone clamp doesn't have a hot shoe, cold shoe mount on the top of it, which is what you need to attach the Rode Video mic. So I just use this little small rig one, this tiny little small rig hot shoe mount, and I just screwed it to the top of that little tripod hole with the screw that came with this. I just screwed it up there, and then the microphone attached. That's not what you have to do. Like I said, you're probably gonna find a better phone clamp than this that actually has a hot shoe mount on the top, because most of the ones that I think they have now do have hot shoe, cold shoe mounts. But yeah, with a microphone on top of this, wide angle lens, tripod, little handheld setup, little vlogging rig, you're good to go. You're good to start making videos. And this is a perfectly fine, 100% reasonable option to start a YouTube channel. I did it, you can do it, everyone can do it. To get you going, to get a couple videos out, this is a great place to start. Feel it out a little bit, see if it's something you want to do. This is a great option. I loved it, you'll love it, all that stuff. When I started shooting videos with this phone, I did buy another phone. I bought the Google Pixel 2 XL so that I could make this strictly my camera. I deleted all the apps off of it. If you do have another phone lying around, I would recommend doing that, because your footage is going to take up a lot of storage on your phone unless you have an SD card in there, which is an option on some phones and isn't on others, but it's going to take up a lot of storage. So if you do have an extra phone lying around, I would highly recommend using that. But not everyone has two phones, not everyone has more than one phone, so that's fine. It's not going to stop you from making videos, but having to, try to film on this and then get your text messages and calls and everything, it could get in the way. It could get annoying, but don't let that stop you. Don't let that stop you. That's not an excuse. The one last thing that I will say, the one last thing that I will recommend to you is downloading some sort of third-party app onto your phone to shoot footage. I use Filmic Pro. It's a great app. There's tons of other apps to use, but Filmic Pro is the one that I enjoyed the most. It gives you so many features with your phone's camera that your native camera app just doesn't have, like shutter speed and exposure, and you can even shoot in a flat profile, which is really awesome if you're gonna get into color grading and stuff like that. So definitely check out Filmic Pro if you're thinking about shooting on your phone, regardless of if you have these accessories or anything. There's even like audio settings in there so you can make the audio sound better and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, third-party apps for shooting video, highly recommend doing that. Just gives you a little wiggle room to work with. Gives you that extra little bit of quality to make your videos a little bit better. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope it helped maybe some of you who are thinking about getting a channel going but don't have a camera, don't have the money for a camera. This is definitely a place to start. It's gonna be great. Make some vids, do it up, all that stuff. So, yeah, I don't have anything else to say. But I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you later.